This video is for the Motorsports Instrumentation GPS Data Logger project. I'm Zachary Sipe and my partner is Joshua Green.
Alright, this is my first time setting up the Raspberry Pi. I got the USB-C plugged in for power, and I have my cord going to my monitor. I have my keyboard trackpad combo, tiny one, and got the USB dongle in there. I'm about to run my first git command to get the files from GitHub.
In our project, we compared the 0 to 60 times and maximum accelerations for 3 different cars. The first car we tested was a 2015 Jeep Grand Cherokee with a 5.7 liter Hemi V8, making 360 horsepower at 5,150 RPMs. This car has a decent amount of horsepower for a factory vehicle, however, it is also the heaviest vehicle in our lineup. Runs were taken of the Grand Cherokee in sport mode and without sport mode. This first picture shows the data taken with the Grand Cherokee in sport mode. This test was conducted on a portion of Highway 29 between Mallard Creek and 485. As shown in the graph in the bottom portion of the screen, this run was slightly uphill. This run got a 0 to 60 time of 7.7 seconds, shown inside the red box, with a maximum acceleration of 14 miles per hour per second at 11 miles per hour, as indicated by the yellow arrow. The second run of the Grand Cherokee was with sport mode turned off. This data was also taken on Highway 29, but further down between 485 and the Speedway. This test was completely downhill, unlike the previous test. The time for this run was 1.6 seconds slower, but had better low-end acceleration. I believe the slower time is due to much lower shift points present during the regular driving mode.
The second vehicle that was tested is a 2017 Buick Envision. This is a front-wheel drive vehicle with a 2.5 liter inline 4-cylinder engine, which outputs 197 horsepower at 6,300 RPM. This one has a curb weight of 3,755 pounds, which has been in the middle of our testing. This test will be tested with empty and a fuel gas tank. On the bottom left, you will see I put in 12.88 gallons of fuel, and with using 6 pounds per gallon, it equates to about 77.28 pounds added to the vehicle. The graph shown shows the 0 to 60 of the Buick on both tests. The first test was taken when the vehicle was at low fuel. The vehicle was then filled with fuel and a second test was taken. Following these tests, looking at the two graphs, it shows the full tank run actually being faster than the low fuel run. This, I'm not sure the reasoning, but maybe could be taken at different times. Overall, the 0 to 60 of this vehicle was 8.6 seconds. To further test the Buick, it was brought to my local drag strip, which is the Mooresville 1/8 mile drag strip. Here on the left shows the drag strip itself, and on the right you could see the Buick on the far right lane sitting lined up in the pits. The third vehicle that was tested is a 2006 Volkswagen Jetta TDI. This is also a front-wheel drive vehicle with a 1.9 liter 4-cylinder turbo diesel engine, which outputs 100 horsepower at 4,000 RPMs. The curb weight, this one's the lightest, going 3,197 pounds, and this one will be tested with and without sport mode, along with a manual shift mode, which would automatically shift at redline. The last vehicle to be tested was the Volkswagen. Here you could see the 3 tests overlaid on top of each other. The fastest being when the vehicle was in drive, second fastest when it was in sport mode, and the third fastest is when it was bouncing off the red line. This is an automatic vehicle, but has a manual shift mode for the red line. As you can see, it made the car much slower as it didn't know when to shift. The standard 0 to 60 on this vehicle seems to be 13.8 seconds. Additionally, below this 0 to 60 graph is a altitude graph. Since all 3 tests were taken at the same location, the altitude shows the altitude for all tests.